Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Thank you very much for watching.
Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is July 31st of 2022. So this month is almost over with. I'm using Manicam for this. And I like Manicam. Although I've had a sort of a love-hate relationship with the raccoon whisperer or whatever it's on my Roku, small Roku TV in the back. And by the way, I mentioned that I ordered the Roku. It looks like it looks like all of theirs, but this is the one that you can use sound for. You can speak and do some other things. I haven't, in fact, maybe even a few hours I might even just take that and put it on the floor again. The Roku. I've mentioned before, I'm not a smart man. I can barely handle one thing at a time, and having this going on and having something going on over here just doesn't work for me. I mean, I've made it through life. Usually had two jobs, full-time job, part-time job. I could handle one job, but of course they were simpler jobs. But I can't handle multiple things. Part of it might be one hearing problem. My hearing is really bad. It's been that way since the first grade, I believe, and was never treated ever. Can't blame my parents because when I became an adult and I had, was a member of the union, and I had insurance, of course, because I was a member of a union. And at that time it was the Boilermakers Union. Then after a few years and working for the post office a short period of time and doing various things, then I worked where there was, I worked for a company that had the United Auto Workers as a union. So I had health insurance, and I could have taken care of my hearing, and I didn't. The other thing that I didn't know that I had a problem with was an inability to image something. I don't know how many of you are going to, watch this video, but you might watch my other video where I mentioned that or whatever. I didn't know till fairly recently that, in fact, a lot of people, have this problem and they don't know it. If you want to do a little test right now, just close your eyes and try to image something. If you're a male, well, the people who come to my YouTube site are like it's 99.2% or something are male, so I don't have many. By the way, I noticed one time this guy here that in Canada, the raccoon whisperer or whatever. Oh, you can't. Oh, you can see it over there in the corner. Yeah. I happened to one time go to his site just to check. In fact, I hadn't gone there in a while, and I thought, I was kind of worried about him in the past. I heard like wheezing and stuff like that, and I thought, I wonder if he's still alive. So I went there, and I have now got sidetracked over what I was going to tell you about that. Well, it had something to do with not being able to image something. Anyway, oh, do you have your eyes still closed? You can open them. Okay, do that sometime. Close your eyes. Okay, do it now. Okay, close your eyes. Okay, I'm thinking of a dog. I can't see a dog. What do I see? Black. Total black. Okay, hey, I'm going to think of a real sexy woman. Who would that be? Somebody, a movie star or something. Okay, that could be your, your wife or your, some relative or something, Wait, did I tell you you'd be thinking of sexy thought about your... No, okay, well, think about your car. I don't have a car. Maybe that's why I see black. No, I mean, it's, there's a name for it. I don't have the book here. I'll put the link below to the book. But now, some people that have this condition, it varies. I'm like 1 on the scale, or 0, or whatever that would, I see nothing. I can't pull up anything. 0. Now, some people, if you were thinking of, I guess, I've never been able to do it, but if you were to close your eyes and try to think of something between, 0 and, say, 100, you might be able to see, you try to pull up a picture of a flower or a rose or something like that. Like me, if you're me, I don't see a rose, I don't see a flower, I don't see anything. Some people apparently, it varies, they can see very rudimentary, very little detail or whatever. And some people, apparently, if they were like high on the scale, they could see a rose with dewdrops on it and all that type of stuff. So it varies. I have 4 children. I think I checked with all 4 of them. My oldest daughter, she has the same problems I have, except not as bad. But she has it, And it's something that should be known about it. I think there should be some type of and it'd be easy to do the testing. Of course, you'd want to have teachers that knew a little bit about what they were talking about, But I think at some stage in life there should be testing. Now, I don't want to rule out, somebody who wants to be an astronaut or a pilot or, but somehow just find out who the children are. And I don't want to say I'm discriminated against. I don't want to say I'm, one of them maybe wants to be a jet pilot or something. I wouldn't want him to say, okay, well, you tested in grade school and you can't be a jet pilot. But maybe there is something that could be done to improve, the situation. I'm not talking about some, multi-billion-dollar project or something like that. Something, something simple. At least let them know. I worked as a started out life. Well, when I got out of high school, I tried to enlist. I went to a military academy, high school, 4 years. I graduated. And my intention was, the reason I wanted to go to De La Salle Military Academy in Kansas City, Missouri was, I wanted to go into the Army and make a career of it. And I went down and I was under the 40 pounds under the minimum weight requirement. But I totally forgot about well, I didn't totally forget because there was 200 of us there at that time. No, when I went down to enlist, it was just me going down to enlist. So I went down to enlist and I was 40 pounds under the minimum weight requirement. Okay, yeah, I didn't have that. It's for the selective service, a few years, so I was rejected. Now, and I go, oh, damn, what do I do? Now, 2 or 3 years later, the Selective Service Administration, informed me that I had to report at such and such a time and such a place for my selective service physical. And 200 of us showed up. And I've mentioned this before, the reason I know 200 of us showed up was because we all had to get naked, and they took a magic marker and started with, 1 up to 200, And that's how I know there was 200. But so there's 200 of us standing there naked. And now this is after I had tried to enlist after high school, 1959. The doctor makes his way through, 200 naked guys, and came over to me and he said, "Have you been in the hospital?" "No." "Have you been sick?" "No." "Oh, okay." And he went back to his spot or whatever, wherever it was. So out of 200 people, I was the skinniest. And so for the selective service physical, when we lined up, of course. Well, first the doctor came through and went through then, line up, and the doctor came through and big husky, football players or whatever. He just came down the line, rejected knee, whatever, and a bunch of all those, and of course he went by me. And then when we lined up to have blood drawn or whatever, the big husky guys. Of course, there weren't many like there was. I didn't see anybody else like me. Skinny, I could have been in a World War II concentration camp movie or something as one of the inmates. But we lined up and boom, these football players or whatever falling over left and right when they had blood drawn. But anyway, then we came up to, well, there was a bunch of things we went through, but then we came up in there, I think it was a door, and okay, do you hear the number? And somebody on the other side of the door said a number, and I could hear it. And so anyway, I got well, of course, we were there for like half a day. Well, except I was there for 8 hours because everybody had to urinate in a little container, and I couldn't. Everybody else left. Well, everybody except, some nurses and clerks and the doctor, and well, probably the doctor left, I'm sure. Why would he stick around, All they needed to do was get it. And so I said, "Can I go across to Union Station and get a Coke?" "No." Hour or two, an hour goes by, and are you ready to? "No, I can't." Maybe they thought I was trying to get out of the military in some way or something, because that was being during the Vietnam War, yeah. And so several hours go by. They're getting ready to go home. They want to go home. It's like 4 o'clock or getting close to 4 or something like that. And they said, I said, "No." And I said, "Can I just go across the street and get a Coke?" "Okay." I went across the street. I got a Coke, came back, drank the Coke. I said, "I'm ready." But I do remember when I was at that door, listening for the something. I thought I did realize, I guess, that I had that hearing loss. Never had talked about it or really thought about it, but as a kid, you know, and even at high school or whatever, I heard what was said. You know, the problem was different. You know, it's the range and that all that type of stuff. I've got some solar cell, large solar cell here, which I can't erect because I live in an apartment complex, and I also have the 2 battery pack. Well, no, I have the thing that comes with it. I didn't buy them; I couldn't afford them. My daughter bought them for me, Hillary. And then I have a couple of these battery packs that, for some reason I'd moved one of them into the living room for some reason, and it was there on the desk that my ex-wife uses a computer. And so I was, you know, back in my room, because it sat there for a few days or a week, or I don't know how long. And then I hear screaming. What in the hell is going on? I go in there, and my ex-wife is, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. And I said, what? The noise? And she's like pissed. I can tell she's really pissed at me. You know, I'm saying, what noise? I'm standing, you know, I could put my hand on the device. And she says, the noise, the noise. And then I thought, okay, it must be the, so is it, you know, so I pushed some buttons on it, you know. Is it still going? Yes, it's going. Can't you hear it? You know. No, I don't hear anything. You know. Here's another thing. And then she's still upset. You know. And then I said, "Is it off now?" Yes, it's off now. So that's how bad my hearing is. And I knew that over the years because of, you know, when the watches came out, that little digital watches in the beginning, you know, and the ones that you could use a little stylus on this watch to do addition and subtraction, and then they had all this kind of stuff, and I was big into that kind of stuff, of course. But I couldn't hear the one for the alarm, which was a neat. I couldn't hear that. And around that time, when I was working hospital security, I'd be, you know, maybe on an elevator. You know, I go on an elevator to take the elevator upstairs, and people would be like, you know, on the elevator, what's that noise? What's that alarm? Or whatever. Then I would, I couldn't hear it, you know. Even if I put it, I couldn't hear it. But then I would know to shut it off. Also, there was a problem of, when I got into the, have you ever been like in Kansas City, Missouri Union Station, you know, the railroad station or whatever. There was times I went there to go someplace, like my mother and I, back when I was in about 5th grade, maybe. We went, my dad was a welder, boilermaker, and he was working in Savannah, Georgia at the H-bomb plant, building it, you know. I mean, he wasn't building, I mean, he was doing his job. But got sidetracked again. Anyway, I guess what would be would be to, oh yeah, public address systems in like railroad stations. Yeah, it's like an echo, you know. It's boom, because, and also my hearing loss is, not everybody's the same, you know. There's a difference, bad in both ears. But so with the data, I guess, coming in, and they're not in sync because they're coming from little different directions or whatever. It's garbage. I mean, I couldn't hear any if they were, you know, train such and such leaving at gate such and such. Total, can't hear a word, you know. So it was the same thing when I worked, you know, like hospital security. If I was in a stairwell and a call would come on the radio, I couldn't hear it. So I avoided stairs a lot and things like that. So how did I get on this subject? I don't know. Oh. That's why I'm doing a video. There is a new version of Windows out. And where do I need to go? Oh, settings. Okay, we need to go to come on, where am I? Windows was updated 9 hours ago. Come on, I know it's here. About. I think that's it. There's supposed to be a thing here. Did they change it? Okay, maybe I better write this down. I wrote down I'm going to change, let's see. I'm just going to turn this off. Okay. I just installed a while ago Windows 11 22H2 and it's KB5015885. In addition, let's see, 511, okay, that's installed on 511. Build. Okay, where is, let me go back here. My brain is not working that, you're up to date, check for updates, I did that. Update history, let's see here. Okay, today's not 5/11. Let's see. 5/11, it's not 5/11. Is it this one here? 7/31. That's it. Okay, it's cumulative update for Windows 11. Learn more. I've had that happen before. I don't know why. How can Microsoft make these kind of mistakes? Okay. Oh, so let's look up. I installed it. So let's see how this works. Okay, let me switch windows again here. Okay, let's oh, okay, wait a minute here. Okay, we want to do a search for, but how did I get scooted over here? Move the microphone back a little bit. Windows 11 KB 5015885. Okay, da 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 da. Okay, yeah, I think here we are. 15885. Yeah, this is it. Okay, this is Windows Insider build. It says 3 days ago, but I got it just earlier, a few hours ago. So let's Let's open this in a new new window. Releasing Windows 11 2262. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, I see. 22621.317. Says Windows Insider today we're releasing Windows 11 build 22621.317, and then in parentheses it's KB5015885. Yeah. So, this update includes the following improvements. We fixed an issue that prevents troubleshooters from opening. We fixed an issue that might increase the latency of games when vertical sync is in use. I have no idea what that is. My grandson would know. Well, like a lot of people, probably like most of you, he is a game player. We fixed an issue that affects the projection manager start projecting async. I don't know what that is. And prevents certain locals from connecting to Miracast syncs. I have no idea what that is. We fixed an issue that caused the Smart App Control to block catalog signed files. We fixed an issue that causes the Take a Test app to remove all policies related to lockdown enforcement when you close the app. Can you see the confusion on my face? You can't. Maybe I should, you need to, okay, we need to be over. Can you see my confusion on my face? Okay. We fixed an issue that causes the Take a Test app to remove all policies related to lockdown enforcement when you close the app. We fixed an issue that might highly distort photos you take using the camera app. This issue occurs when using certain cameras under certain low light conditions. We fixed an issue that throws an exception when you debug drivers using the Visual Studio 2022 version 17.2 or later. Do we really need to know this? I guess people do. I'm sure there's people out there that do need to know it. We fixed an issue that causes the Windows profile server to fail sporadically. The failure might occur when signing in. The error message is GP SVC service failed to sign in, access denied. We fixed an issue that prevents visualized app vOffice applications from opening or causes them to stop responding. Thanks. Windows Insider Program. Okay. So that is it, my friends. Okay. I'm going to upload this. I hope the audio is working. Let me go down here a little bit and see if I see the bar moving on this thing. Yeah, I do. So I hope it's working. What I will do is, when I see where this thing starts with me talking about it, I'll put below will be a link so you can skip to that point, and you won't have to hear about me trying to get into the Army or anything else I may have, any other stupid thing I may have been talking about. So thank you very much for watching.